How's it going, everybody? So, this video is not an excuse to name drop LowTierGod or Wings of Redemption or Keemstar or... Hey guys, before the video really starts, I just want to remind people, please subscribe and like. Dislike it if you dislike, and leave a comment on what I should do better in the future. Okay, thank you. Or Donald Trump, or Joe Biden, or Kamala Harris, or Britney Spears. Who else is famous? Kanye West. No, that's not what this video is about. Instead, this video is or Local Life. Instead, this video is about LowTierGod and Wings of Redemption maybe making a podcast together. And the reason I have a suspicion of that is because, well, one, recently Wings said that he has a podcast in the works.
Wings, do we need a podcast in a setting? I do have a podcast in the works.
And for two, Wings of Redemption has repeatedly said on Local Live about LowTierGod and how they want him on, and and then three is the fact that when Wings of Redemption and LowTierGod were talking to each other on the Wings of Redemption channel, it may have been on the LowTierGod channel, but I can't check anymore because obviously his channel is deleted. Now, this is the one caveat as well about the channel being his channel being deleted and him being banned on YouTube. I think they still would be able to do a podcast together on YouTube even though he's banned, because there's so many videos of LowTierGod on YouTube, and those channels don't get banned for featuring LowTierGod. So if there was a podcast with Wings of Redemption and LowTierGod, and people say, hey, he's not allowed on YouTube anymore, take him down. Well, if they did take him down, well, then that kind of fucks with all the troll channels, and it would lead to all the troll channels getting taken down too, because they're featuring LowTierGod in their channels. The way to do it would be to give Wings ownership of the channel, and then LowTierGod is the co-host. Then it's not LowTierGod's channel. It's just, this is Wings of Redemption's show that LowTierGod is a part of. When Wings of Redemption and LowTierGod have interacted in the past, they got along really well, and it was actually pretty humanizing to both of them. And I think it would be really entertaining, to be honest, but there's a few problems that I think could hold it back if they go through with this idea. So problem number one would be that they might be too agreeable with each other. Now, what I mean by that is that they may not agree with each other on things. However, they could find reason and see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. And it may be, a good conversation for two friends or whatever, but that's not good entertainment. You might want someone to be a bit more, well, what do you really mean by that? Like, kind of aggravating, or how would I put it? Just someone to keep the soup hot, right? Because otherwise it's just gonna be boring. And like, Wings of Redemption said he kind of wants a bit more of a boring show than Local Live, and I think yes, you can do that, but if you do that, you're gonna end up with a show that doesn't get as many viewers as Local Live, and it's easily circumventable by just having a third host who kind of pulls the strings and the buttons a bit, or presses buttons, whatever, the fucking metaphor. Right, so if they do need a third host, then pick me, please, because one, I know I'm not going to be the star of the show, so I'm going to be willing to take a lower portion of the profit. And also, two, I don't care if I get a bunch of hate for being a host or associated with Wings of Redemption or LowTierGod, because I care about money more than people thinking I'm a bad person because I have a conversation with people that other people don't like. Like, I don't give a shit. I'd bring something to the table. I'd be funny. Hopefully, you'd kind of have to test me out, and if I wasn't good, then you'd be like, all right, well, we tried, and you don't fit it. Which would be, I'd accept it. I wouldn't be like, well, this was my idea, blah blah blah. No, it'd be cool. But if I did work and if I did bring some to the table, maybe you should do an episode without me and then an episode with me and see, like, do people like the dynamic I bring to the show. But maybe give me like a couple episodes for people to get used to me, because every time there's a new host on a show, people generally don't like it because it's a new dynamic and something, new. But give people time, and if they still don't like me, I'll take the defeat like a man and just say, yeah, I tried. And before I go, here's my YouTube channel, and then you just can let me go. Anyway, that'd be awesome, and it'd be so much money. And I think that the idea of a LowTierGod and a Wings of Redemption podcast is such a good idea. And I don't think it's my idea anymore. I think Wings of Redemption and LowTierGod are working on it already, just because of the fact that Wings of Redemption mentioned LowTierGod so many times on Local Live, and also is fond of him from what I can tell. So, and also it'd be awesome. I think even LowTierGod would agree that the show would be pretty awesome. So yeah, now that's why I think it's gonna happen. All right, now here's problem two, potential problem number two. So banning people. There was an episode of Local Live where the incident with Wings at Fat Camp just happened, and I maybe I have the timeline a little wrong, but anyway, Keem's point of view was that the reason you can't ban people for saying troll comments in the donations or whatever is just because it makes people afraid to donate and make fun of the hosts. Now, I do get Wings of Redemption's point of view as well, where he says that, well, Keemstar just bans whoever he wants, and if you say anything bad about Keemstar, you're probably getting banned. Now, I kind of agree to a certain extent. Keemstar, on a couple of occasions, did not practice what he preached. Now, despite that, I think the overall advice that Keemstar gave, where be careful on banning people because you don't want to make people scared to donate, is something that it's true, and it'd be healthy for the show to not have a bunch of people banned. Now, some really bad trolls would need to be banned. I understand that, but here would be my solution for what to do for, like, the other trolls that kind of just, they get under your skin, and you don't want to ban, well, you do want to ban them, but you shouldn't. Well, just time them out. And that's actually the same conclusion I think LowTierGod has came to on his streams for the most part, where he doesn't really ban as much anymore from what I can see. He mostly just bans people for a certain amount of time. Now, I think 2 weeks is honestly way too long. Probably Probably 12 hours would be where I'd leave it. And if it's something really bad, then just permanently banned. Like if someone says, "Here's your address," boom, and then yeah, fucking ban that person, right? But you know, on most occasions, 12 hours would do. Right. I don't think there is a problem tree. I think that needing a third host potentially and uh, being too ban heavy are the only two problems I could see the show having. Now, I came up with another reason for me being the third host. So, as you guys know, LowTierGod, well, as you can see, he's pretty fit, and Wings of Redemption is super unfit. But, well, he's fit for a fat person, but like at the same time, he's 400 pounds, right? When I say fit for a fat person, I mean he's mobile. But you know what I mean. I'm actually quite in the middle where I'm definitely not as athletic as LowTierGod, but I'm not like lost in the sauce like Wings, literally lost in the sauce, like the Wendy's chili. I think it would be good to have, health advice from LowTierGod and then maybe financial advice and stuff from Wings, because I know Wings has his own house. I obviously don't own my own property. And also, I'm not nearly as athletic as LowTierGod, so I would have something to learn from both of them. And what could they learn from me? Well, it depends, honestly, because I don't know how much of a character LowTierGod is. I know he said to a certain extent he's a character. Like, if you go back to... I'll just play the clip. I'll play the clip.
From my advice, I think there's so much more you could do on the platform. Like, I think people are so trapped in the character of Wings of Redemption, they don't know you outside of the character. I think you should touch bases on that.
How do you mean? Like, give me an example.
So, if you go to my channel, right? So there was I want to say, man, probably probably, I want to say 3 years ago, I started dropping content that wasn't video game based content to give people a different look. It was a series I had called The Critical Times. I was working a shit job. I wasn't making any money. I wasn't making any money on YouTube yet. I was like, yo, I'm just going to record myself in the car, just talking about how shit my life is at the particular time, how much I'm getting paid, how my life sucks. That was able to boost my channel a lot. So people, they know the character LowTierGod, but they also got a taste of something different. So on your channel, since you're a character, basically we're characters. We're not real people right now. You're Wings, I'm LowTierGod.
Now, I have a feeling that's true to some extent, but I also have a feeling it's not entirely true either. But in the circumstance that it is true, well then, that's pretty awesome, because LowTierGod always wanted to be an actor, and if it is the case that he is putting on an act and I can't even tell how much of it is an act and how much isn't, well then he's achieved his goal, and that's something to be proud of and a major accomplishment. There's not really a lot of people ever saying that they like LowTierGod or that he's ever accomplished anything, but I think that is a pretty huge goal, and if it's true, then, which it is true to some extent, I think he should be... I give him his flowers. That's what I'm trying to say. Give him his flowers on that one. But I know he's not entirely fake as fuck either. So that's like where... That's why I said to some extent it's true, but to some extent it's not 100% true. As for Wings, I really hope that what he does here is he does make a podcast with LowTierGod, and I think it has the potential to break the internet because it's something so many people would love to see. It'd be such an interesting dynamic, and I don't think it needs to be as big of a circus as Local Live in order to be successful. I think there's a lot of people who are looking for a more grounded, kind of down-to-earth podcast, and it's evident because at the Fat Camp, where Wings got into a fight with Keemstar, people actually agreed with Wings, with his point about not scripting shit and having the show be authentic. People kind of want that, and it would be really good because it would be a side of LowTierGod that people don't really get to see. People get to see LowTierGod the character. They don't get to see the person behind the character. And this podcast, it'd be great to kind of see, you know, him and who he really is, and the difference between him and kind of, I hate this frog, like, you know, the difference between him and LowTierGod the character. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions on the show that potentially and hopefully is happening, because it would be really awesome. Yeah, let me know. Do you think this idea is good, or do you think this idea is kind of just, it wouldn't work? Leave in the comments below. Do you think this idea would work? Or do you think this idea just wouldn't work because of the type of personality LowTierGod or Wings of Redemption have, where one might be too, you know, arrogant to even try, and then the other might be too depressed to even put in any effort. Now, I believe in them. I think that they can pull it off, but I think at the same time it would be valuable to have a third person to be the glue between them, because people who would bet that this won't work because of the personalities, or at least it won't work for a long time because of the personalities, I could kind of see their point of view. But if they had a third person to, you know, help, it'd be great. And also, I'm not perfect. They could help me in a lot of ways, as I previously mentioned. So yeah, also the opportunity would be such a major help, because I'll get more into it if I'm given the chance. But the goal of becoming a YouTuber is probably not something I can achieve solely on my own. Now, I say probably not because I'm thinking of giving up or anything like that. I'm gonna keep trying, but I'm saying probably because I know the market on YouTube is so competitive, and especially when you have so many people who are better at this than me. You know, it's tough, but I'm gonna keep trying even if I don't get this chance. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to say, if I was given a chance, I'd be super grateful. And yeah, all right, peace, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.